Okay, let's take the electrical circuit that we see on the picture here, and let's recognize the elements that we have and begin doing the bond graph model of this electrical system. So why don't we write down the steps on the right hand side. I'm just gonna see if we can try this new new form. Let's say step number 1. We're going to say recognize elements. And so this is the elements in the system is what I mean, you know. Okay, so there we go. Then we are going to go and put it maybe down, up here, right there, down here. I don't know. What did I just do? The experts, any experts here? Recognize the elements. Okay, insert. Okay, good. So we're going to have the first step in there. Step number 2, we're going to say use a one junction to represent the distinct currents. Okay, very good. So how do we do this? We just insert and then move it? We don't want to change the previous one. Oh, you see what happened? This is going to be an educational experience, I say, for me, because, well, we don't want to suppress this. We want to create a new one, so I'm just going to leave it like that. So apparently the first thing you do is to put your cursor where you want the insertion. Let me try it again. 2, use a one junction. How do you correct this thing? Use a one junction. I think this. The computer tries to correct me, and that's the problem. Okay. I don't know. Use a one junction for each current. Okay. So the only thing we have a problem with is with this. And how does it get fixed? I tap the bottom of the top right to see how. I don't know, but anyway, I'm just gonna put the number 1 in there. Maybe you insert it and then you correct it. Oh, that's the way it is. Yeah. So you insert and then you can do it. Well, okay. I'll get better. So let's just do that. First of all, we recognize the elements. This is an AC element. This, of course, let's call it R1. This R2. This L1. This C1. It's a C element. See, it did insert the other one, and I didn't realize that. Oh, this thing. I still don't know how to handle this. It looks like a little frame. No, that. Oh. I guess what we need to do is this. In this particular case, like I said, I'll get a little better. So there we go in here, and we recognize the current I1, and then you have the current I sub 2. Yeah. So we use a one junction for each current. So I'm just going to use a one junction for this I1, and then a one junction for this I sub 2 in here, right there. And then we are going to say, okay, let me just go ahead and first establish the place where I want the writing to go, which has to be, apparently it might be after the one that I put in, or does it have to be? Look, let's just do it separately, because that's probably the best thing at this point. So I'm going to say number 3. You could say attach the elements that experience things, those currents. Okay, so since we learned it last time, I click on insert and I don't know where it is. Well, it will appear. I'm not going to worry about these things if it doesn't appear in here. So, or perhaps, yes. Let's say we know for sure it's there, because we really need to step number 3 in here. Attach the elements that experience those currents. The question is, and if you click on insert, it should insert. Yeah, I think I'm getting better, because if I click it on the same block, it will insert there. So let's do that. In this case, we need to attach the elements that see these currents. We're going to go and change colors here. Let's do this with the blue. This is going to be the I element in here with power in, and of course the first thing we should have done is we need to put here the source of effort in here, and then in here we attach the C element over here, and then on this we we attach the R element as well. You could say like this. This is the R element. And then we are done with the step number 3. So now based on this, what I feel we need to do is to go in here and
What about the R element for the first term?
no, because you see the R element does not experience I1. The SR element experiences the difference between I1 and I2.
Okay.
That's the thing. So in this case, step number 4, we're going to say use 0 junctions. Not functions, junctions to represent and then the current differences. The current differences. Very good. So we click on insert now, and it should insert right below the number 3 right here. Okay, good. I think we're doing good now. Use is not we just need to correct not 0 functions, is not 0 junctions. Yeah, very good. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to say, okay, this is a 0 junction that I need to enter over here. I'm just going to use a red pen and say, okay, 0 junction is the difference between this and this. So this will be represented by a current which is I1 minus I sub 2. Okay, and if this is the case, we have done the current differences. I think we could add in here. I think now this is, we could even type this is, you could say express those differences also with 1 junctions. Very good. So now let's go to the next step number 5. We would need to say attach the elements that experience those differences. Very good. So typing it directly also works. Actually, this is just a work in progress, always to make this electronic things work. So in here, we attach the elements that see those differences, and in this case, they are element. So we need to put it in here like this. See? Okay. Very good. I think what we need to do in step number 6 would be, I would say, check power flows and causal marks. See? And in this case, in this particular case that we have here on the screen, the power flow goes from the source into the system and gets distributed throughout. If you keep that principle, also this sum, I mean these differences will fall correctly, like I1 minus I sub 2. And thus, so we have done step number 6. What we have not done is they assign the causal marks. Now, I want to emphasize this, that at this point, if you enter this into CAMG, the computer will actually do the causal marks for you. Okay? But just for exercise, I think we should do it by hand just to illustrate this. Also, you could say to add a little, just one more comment to number 6, and you could say simplify if you wish. I don't, I say if you wish, because if you want to see the bond graph model compact and neat, you could do that, but you don't have to. I mean, I can leave it like this, and it's a perfectly well designed, well suited model for computation. So if you don't want to do or redraw it, just keep like this. One thing that I would suggest is that I'm going to put a note in here that says maybe something like this. Keep in mind that if you have something like this, yeah, this is the same as, well, let me just have you draw the conclusions yourself. Let's say if this is E2 and this is F sub 2. Okay, isn't it true that by the one junction F1 is equal to F sub 2? Right? Same flow. But the summation of the efforts is 0. So E1 minus E2 is equal to 0. Consequently, for this, E1 is also E2. So with this and this entire thing is the same thing as this. So it's a simplification, yeah? And the same thing will happen to the 0 junction. I'm going to do it over here so that you have it in this, okay? So in here you have this, this will be, sorry, let me just keep this. This also would be the same thing, because if you do it, let's say E1 and F1 and E2 and an F sub 2, and you have this E sub 1 is equal to E sub 2 because of the 0 junction, but F sub 1 minus F sub 2 is equal to 0. So consequently, in this, you also have that F1 is F2. Consequently, this is also like this. So potentially, you could reduce the bond graph model like this. You could have SCE, and then you reduce that to a 0 here, and you reduce this to an R element, and then on this you have it like with the 1, with the R like this, and with the I over here, and then with the C. So how do we assign those causal marks that I'm telling you you don't have to do at this point? First, you assign it to the sources and see what happens. This is on a 0 junction, so the others will have to be like this. And then we assign integral form to an I element. If I do this, the other ones will be like this, and coincides that this is also in integral form, and that would be the reduced version of this. So this is the entire process for this example, and we can examine other examples, but there you have the steps. Recognize the elements, use 1 junctions first, attach the elements that experience those, use 0 junctions to represent the differences, attach elements that see those differences, and then check power flow, causal marks, and simplify.